Hello friends, I'm Parvez and this is our 11th video in Flask web development. In the previous video we have learned about if-else condition in Flask, so this is from the previous video. In this video I'm going to talk about Flask SQLAlchemy. So now as you know, in the previous videos we have learned about how you can connect your Flask application with MySQL database. And now in this video we are going to talk about relational mapper database, that is SQLAlchemy. Now SQLAlchemy is an object relational mapper, or we can call it ORM implementation in Python programming language. By using SQLAlchemy we can create and execute database queries and codes without needing to write SQL statements. So I'm going to open my PyCharm ID. So this is my PyCharm ID. Now the first thing I need to install SQLAlchemy. So you need to install. You can install that simply by pip install and Flask SQLAlchemy, and it will be installed on your computer. Right now I have installed this, so there is a requirement already satisfied. After installing Flask SQLAlchemy, now we are going to create a Flask application. So from Flask import Flask and also from SQLAlchemy, from Flask SQLAlchemy import SQLAlchemy. Okay, after that we are going to create a Flask object. So let me create. Now in here because I'm using a MySQL database. Now if you see, so let me show you. Okay, now this is the website of Flask SQLAlchemy, that it is an extension for Flask. Now there are different configuration for different databases. For example, for MySQL we have a configuration for Postgres. Now you can see that this is for MySQL, this configuration is, and this configuration is for Oracle or Postgres. You can use whatever you want. Now I'm going to create a database in my web server because I'm using MySQL database. Now let me create a new database and I call it for example SQLAlchemy app. Create. Okay, now we have created our database at the name of SQLAlchemy app. Right now there is no table in this database. After this, now we need to give some configuration for this. So app.config, and in here we are going to give SQLAlchemy database URI. So in here you need to give what database you want to use. So now I'm going to just open the configuration, and because I'm using MySQL database, let me copy this and paste this in my in here. Now in here we need to bring some change. This is the root of your the user. So the username, my username is root, and this is the password, so I don't have any password. And in here you need to write your database name. So my database name is SQLAlchemy app. Okay, after that also you need to add this line of code, because if you don't do this there will be a warning. So SQLAlchemy underscore track, underscore modifications and make this false. Okay, after this, let me create a SQLAlchemy object, and I want to add my app in here. So now I'm going to create a class. So if you're familiar with Django models, now this is the same as Django models. So let me create a class employee, and I'm going to db.model inherit, and in here I'm going to, for example, I want my table should have an ID, so db.column, and I want this should be an integer, so you can give it integer. Also, let me make the primary key to true. Okay, another one is I want a name, so db.column, and this is db.string, and I want for this et characters. Okay, so also I need an email, db.column, db.string, and for this I also give it et character. Okay, now this is my table class, and let me write the constructor. So init, and here I am going to give it name and email. So self dot name and self dot email. Okay, now so let me open my terminal in PyCharm IDE, and we are going to do some queries for this. Okay, now the first thing I need, so first I'm going to write Python. Okay, now because I'm going to create this table in my database, so now you need to from main import db, and now you can db.create_all, hit enter. Okay, now if I check my database, so now you can see I have an employee table in here that's created by SQLAlchemy. Okay, like this, we have ID, name, email. So this was creating table. Now I'm going to show you that how you can insert data in your SQLAlchemy. So let me create a new session and close this session. So first let me write Python, and I need from main import employee, and also I need to from main import db. Okay, so after importing these, and now I'm going to create an emp, so employee. Now in here I'm going to write, for example, the name should be, I'm going to give it my name, and so you need to give an email address at gmail.com. okay, now after this you need to add the data, so emp.session.add, and I want to add my emp employee object, no session. Let me just check this emp. Oh, sorry, we need to db.session.add, and we need to add our emp. Okay, and after this we need to commit our session, so db.session.commit, hit enter. Okay, now let me just check my database. So let me check this. Okay, now in here you can see that I have an employee ID, name, and email, because ID is auto increment and we have received one. Now let me just add another data, so emp2 employee So let me just write, for example, John, and you can write john@gmail.com. okay, now we need to add this db.session.add. We are going to add our emp2 db.session.commit. So now let me just check my database. So refresh my database. Okay, now you can see I have another name. Let me just one more for this. emp3 employee. Let me add this. This is the email address, db.session.add, and I want to add emp3 and db.session.commit. okay, so now if I refresh this, you will see that I have another name in here. So like this, you can add and search data from SQLAlchemy to MySQL. Okay guys, now we have learned that how you can insert data in your MySQL database with SQLAlchemy. Now I'm going to show you that how you can retrieve or select data from your MySQL database using SQLAlchemy. So for this, if you see my database, I have 3 data, and now let me create a new session. So I'm going to just close the session. So let me first, I need to import. So I want to from main import employee, import employee. okay, now for retrieving data, you can simply write, for example, I want to write emp, and you can give it employee.query.all. so and now you can print emp. Now you can see I have 3 objects in here, so employee 1, employee 2, and employee 3. So I have 3 employee in my database. Now if you want to see the data, so let me create a for loop. So let me call it for employee in emp, and run it, and so for let me just check this, that where's the for employee in emp. okay, now I have after this, now I want to print, so I'm going to print emp dot, for example, if you check up, I want to print the name, so emp dot name, indentation expected. okay, so now let me just for employee in emp, I need to give an indent in here, because so now you can print emp dot name as an attribute name. okay, sorry, employee name. So print employee dot name. Now you can see that this is the name that we have. So let me just write my for loop again, because now we have just retrieved 1 data. So for employee in emp, print, I want to print employee dot name. So now you can see we have 3 data. Also you can print for example for employee in emp. If you want, you can print employee.email. Now these are the email address. So like this, you can retrieve or select the data from your MySQL database in SQLAlchemy. Okay guys, so we have learned that how you can retrieve or select data in Flask SQLAlchemy. Now I'm going to show you that how you can update data. So for this, I'm going to create a new session, and let me close this session. So first I need to write Python interpreter. Now from main import employee, and also from main import db. So updating is so easy. Let me create, for example, update data, and you need to query, so dot query and dot filter. So we are going to filter by ID. So I want to bring change in ID 1, and you can give dot first. So after this, hit enter. Now if you see update data, you can see that we have employee 1 in here. Now if you check the database, employee 1 is my name. Let me change this. So update data dot so I want to change the name to, for example, another name, Bob. Okay, and you need to db.session.commit. Now let me just check my database. Now we can see that our first data is changed. Also, you can change the email address if you want. For example, update data dot email, and I want to change this to bob@gmail.com and db.session.commit. And now if you check, you can see that now our email address has also changed. Okay guys, now the data, our email address updated. Now if you want to update, for example, the ID2, also you can do, you can simply write update 2 and employee.query.filter by and ID2. Hit enter, and now if I say update 2, now you can see that we have in here at this memory location. So like this you can update. So for example, I'm going to write update 2 dot name. I want to change this to updated name, and db.session.commit. And if I check my database, it's not updated. Why? Update 2.name, updated name. So okay, let me just write okay, let me create no, so okay, dot first okay. Now if I see update 2, this is implied 2, and now I can update 2 dot name to the updated name, db.session.commit. And now if I check my database, you can see that now it's changed. This was updating. Now let me show you that how you can delete the data from your MySQL database into SQLAlchemy, let me create a new session, and I'm going to just close this session. So first let me open Python. Okay, now we need to from main import employee, and from main import db. Okay, so for delete you can simply write, for example, delete employee dot filter by, and you can delete according to ID. So I want to delete the ID 2. Employee has no attribute filter by. So now let me just check this, that where's the problem. Okay, now let me just write my query again. So delete employee dot query dot filter by. I want the ID, so let me just ID 5 and dot first. Okay, now if you see the delete, delete employee. Okay, now for deleting you can simply write db dot session dot delete session dot delete, and I want to delete in here. Rise class built-in. I have used delete in here, so let me just close this and let me okay, Python from main import employee, and from main import db. Okay, from main from main import db. Okay, now for deleting, let me write delete data employee dot query dot filter by. So I want to delete this according to ID, so ID 2 dot first. Now you can see the delete data. So this is employee 2. You can simply write db dot session dot delete, and I want to delete the delete data. Okay, after this you need to commit. So db dot session dot commit. And now if I check my database, you can see that I have now I have two data in here. So let me remove the third one also. Let me create a new session of Python from main import employee, from main import db. Okay, now let me create a delete data. So employee dot query dot filter underscore by ID 3. So if you see the delete data, you can see that this is employee 3. Now you can simply write db dot session dot delete, and I want to delete the delete data. db dot session dot commit, And now if I refresh my database, you will see that I have just one data in here, so you can see. Thank you guys. This was our Flask SQLAlchemy. If you have any question, please let me know, and for the further videos please subscribe to my channel and also share the videos.